Welcome to my lonely chair in the middle of nowhere interview. First of all, sorry to journalists everywhere. I'm doing my own interview only because of the pandemic. So for 20 years plus, I played in a group, The Bird, which played all around Australia and the world. Cue Black Cockatoo. I played a lot of jungle and drum and bass in that band and lots of live electronica. It had many members and it was a wonderful experience, and I love all the people in it like family. But we don't play too many gigs anymore, and I wanted to keep continuing my challenge of playing live jungle, and I decided to cut a solo record and move away from that project after a long steady, it was like a bird flying this epic voyage and finally sort of reaching the other side. I did it all myself. In terms of recording, engineering, mixing, mastering, composing, all of the bits, which is not maybe the most ideal process, because working with an engineer is so wonderful to have an extra set of ears and another person making sure the levels are good. So it was a lot of work, but it was a labor of love. And even though this music's really old, it came about in the early 90s, and jungle isn't really like out in people's mind, and it's sort of seen as a retro electronic form. For me, rhythmically, it's phenomenal, and I'm still as into it as I was then. So I wanted to cut a record which just covered that genre, which I don't usually do, but I was going to go, look, I'm going to stick to one tempo, one idea. Yeah, I captured that one definitive album of just my jungle drumming, and I really needed that on my label, because I just feel like I wanted to capture all of that hard work and sweat I put into doing that. Yeah, then the fun part will be touring it around the world and playing it live and bringing it alive to the audience, which I so need after this incredible isolated time. So the making of this album was pretty simple. It was really focused on capturing my jungle breaks and doing really groovy, awesome live takes. Because I can't think of an album where it's been like drum and bass or jungle where there's just been live drumming the whole way. Not that that's that important. Music is music, and whether a programmer makes a beat or someone does it live, the same thing at the other end equates. However, for me, because I do what I do live and then I go and take it on the road live, that is something worth capturing. I think also you get a really cool like crossover, taking like old program stuff into more modern jazz, and you get this awesome cross. And I was hoping for the record to sound kind of modern with all this beautiful sort of throwback to 20 years ago. It's not for the rhythmically challenged, put it that way. So it's a very maximalist approach to drumming, but it's such a joy to do. And I didn't, even though I've got a lot of great records with The Bird, I hadn't really reached a maturity in my playing or my production to be able to capture what I've captured in this record. And I think it's literally taken me 2 decades to get to hone my craft. Not taking away anything from the other Bird albums, they're all wicked and the process was wicked, but this was particularly exciting because I felt like I got that sound that I wanted, and it's hard to get. How I did that was using one mic a lot, and sometimes 2, and recording drums kind of like you would record photo or video, really flat, so not really very coloured, quite dynamically flat. Didn't play it too loud. Just got it in the zone that I could then produce it, and then I put it, every different song's got a different drum production. That was one thing I wanted to really do on the album, is keep the drums moving. But just found really new techniques and pushed myself to make exciting kind of break sounds. And that was fun because as a producer, I was going, like I said, I dedicated this album to Gregory Coleman, and you got a very famous drummer who didn't know anyone had taken his music and was adding all this production over the top, and who knows what he thought about that. But I took my own stuff and then I produced it on top, and that felt really cohesive. I made this album somewhere between the process of how you'd make a jazz record with lots of live takes and lots of live shaker parts, and capturing energy and vibe into the recording, which I'm really into that, and I'm really into, as a human, sort of like capturing minutes of your being into an album. And when I pass away from this earth, I like to think that like I've listened to records, people could listen to me playing and actually feel like there's a moment of time where I was just there in the room, and it's like a nice connection that your music takes on another life beyond your mortal one. There's a great quote, and I can't remember who said it, but it's always stuck with me, and it's an artist never finishes their work, they abandon it. And it wasn't actually true. It's been true to a lot of processes in the past, but not to this one. This one I really felt like I had finished. I did enough for a double album, and I threw a lot of it away because I just didn't think it made the cut, and I could just strip away 6-7 songs, went no, and it just finished itself. And yeah, it was a really flowing time where you sometimes you do an album and you're really searching and things are not happening, the mix isn't right, sometimes it's a struggle. This wasn't. This was really just, it wanted to come out, and it wanted to be made. That's it. I don't have anything more to say.